right? That's the most important thing. All they have in this world is mom and dad. You're the only people that really count. And if they don't realize that, they will eventually. And your job is to be there doing everything that you can for them when they're doing the wrong things. Ma Avi Fishoff me'imcha ki im lehoiv es bincha v'espitacha. That's it. Just love your kids to death. And it's hard because people say we can't support bad behavior. And when you have a kid who's doing bad behavior for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're going to feel we have no support. And that's the whole thing under my guidance and under rabbinical guidance. That's the whole part that's twisted. We support bad things because then the kid feels supported. And if they feel supported, they're in a totally different category of dysfunction and pain. And they have a much better chance of healing and getting out of all their pain. That's the chap of what's happening here. Everybody says, how could you support bad? They're going to get confused. Why should they ever be good? Well, the Chazon Ish made it very clear. You know, sometimes from one story, you could see such clarity. The story of the boy that told his father, I want a car. And the father said, fine, I'll buy you a car on condition that you don't drive on Shabbat. Every single person, almost, in Klal Yisrael would say, good idea. Otherwise, you're enabling bad behavior, you're supporting, supplying bad behavior. He's going to drive your car that you paid for on Shabbos, Mechal Shabbos B'Fahesia, Mois Yamus, the whole thing. The kid said, no deal. And the relationship deteriorated. Kishehagia El Rabbeinu, when the story reached Rabbeinu the Chazon Ish, and everybody holds of the Chazon Ish. Nobody disagrees with him. He said, I advise the parents to buy the car L'loi shum tanai, without any condition. Don't say, don't park in front of the house on Shabbos, please don't let me see. No condition. Why? Kedei shetiskadel hashpa'osoi alav, that your influence should grow. Influence is subconscious. You changed your child, and everything you did is without discussing the issue. All these changes that you're seeing is subconscious influence because you made them your best friend and you're their supplier and you're there for them, and nothing that they say is going to make you disgusted or reject them at all. Just remove all of that because nobody ever got better by the parents showing that we don't like this behavior. It just doesn't work. It never worked. And that's what the Chazon Ish said. You see from one story the depth. Rejection doesn't work. That's what he said. Don't reject. Yinasu mashcham ba'avoisais ahava. Try to pull them in with bonds of love. That's your job. But then he added, V'loy l'tchaisam chalila. God forbid, do not reject. Telling your kid, don't park in front of the house. That was the question of this week. Can I tell my kid, don't park on Shabbos in front of the house? Why? For who? For your kid's sake, your kid's going to be better parking around the corner and then schlepping their stuff. Why? Why do you care? For God? God doesn't care where you park. For who? Uncover where it's coming from. You're human. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your feelings. Why do you care? Because of the neighbors. Let's deal with the question. Let's deal with it properly. You're embarrassed that you have a Mechal Shabbos child in front of the neighbors. I hear that. It doesn't change what's right to do to win back the child. Let's identify it. So first of all, I told them, you should know, the neighbors knew your kid was off the derech before you did. Second thing is, it's already old news. They're already talking about the next thing. And the third thing is, they're going to talk about you. Let's give them something to talk about. Oh, that's a song? Wow, it's very catchy. Let's give them something to talk about. Let them see what the Chazon Ish said, what the Baal Shem, what every single Rebbe and Rav, and that's why I have a collection of almost 5,000. My Sefer is going to come out eventually. I'm almost done with first Chelik. I never heard of a Rav or a Rebbe that said, tell them, don't do this. Nobody. In my house, you have to dress like this. It's communism. It's communism. It comes from the Goyim. Any rejection is Goyish. Now, you have me to direct you. You have your Das Torah. So far, I haven't found any Das Torah having a problem from our Rabbanim. There's some Das Torah that they say, oh, this is crazy. Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy that we have kids who are unfortunately, off the derech. It's crazy we have kids who are suicidal. It's crazy that we have kids on drugs. It's crazy we have kids who don't want to live. It's crazy we have kids cutting themselves. It's crazy we have kids who are gay. That's the crazy part. Chemo is not crazy. Cancer is crazy. They're mixing up the machla and the medication. The medication, of course, it's crazy because the machla is crazy. 30 years ago, this didn't exist. 30 years ago. Anybody here in your class have kids who committed suicide, have kids who overdosed on drugs, have kids who went off the derech? Not like this. So the machla that is killing Klal Yisrael, is damaging Klal Yisrael, is all emotional cancer, and it is crazy. The medicine has to be crazy. You have to be as crazy as a medicine as you are as a machla. That's why we have to be so extreme, depending on the extreme level of dysfunction and problems that we're trying to heal. So that's the story of the Chazon Ish. You buy the car, because there's a lot more to do. So parents would say, what do you mean? Chil Shabbos, that's the end? That's the end. No. What about, are they going to eat on Yom Kippur? And maybe not now, maybe 5 years from now. Maybe your influence of 5 years will bring them back. Are they going to marry Jewish or a guy? There's a lot more problems. And even when it came to Chil Shabbos, the Chazon Ish said, you don't do anything to lower your influence, and you look for ways to increase your influence, even if it means providing the vehicle of Chil Shabbos. That's the Chazon Ish. And we have to think about how does that, so somebody told me, oh, that's only with Ruchnius. I'm like, no, that's human nature. If it works with Ruchnius that way, it works with drugs that way, it works with rules that way, it works with everything. If it works with Hashem's rules, it works with house rules. It works with government rules. It's human nature. When someone is doing not what you want, what turns them around is not feeling disconnected from you. It's only feeling more connection to you, and that automatically, subconscious influence is the most powerful tool in the world, and people lose it over narishkeit and over stupidity that doesn't help, and there's no benefit. And that's what you did. You focus completely on the subconscious. We're your best friends. We accept you. And all of a sudden, there's change. Same person who was this way is already here. Okay, we have a long more way to go. We have to do more and more of these radiation techniques of heat therapy, nafshek shur b'nafshay, NKN, deepening, fun, get them through this darkness. Their problem is not your problem. They're struggling themselves. And then you're struggling because you see your kids struggling. But making them worse, you can't fight their battle for them, and making them worse isn't going to help you. So imagine like the door that we have over here where we daven by the shul. There's a door with a little window. Pull yourself out of the picture. You're looking inside the window. You see your kids struggling, whether it's drugs, whether it's spiritual problems, emotional problems, psychiatric problems, doesn't matter. You see them struggling. You're on the outside. Now we're going to let you in. What are you going to do to help your child? Add lachatz, add pressure? That's not going to help. Scream and yell at them, show them you're disappointed. That never helped anybody. You have a 5-minute visit. I'm going to let you in. You're going to hug them and say, I'm here for you. That's helpful. I'm not abandoning you. That's what Rav Pam wrote. Rav Pam said, clear hadracha, clear guidance. Never abandon them. Never forsake them. That's what he said.